Good morning, students. Today we will be starting with the next topic. The first topic for today is two terms. We need to acquaint ourselves with two terms. The first term is called as pathogen. Now you have to understand the meaning of the word pathogen. The word pathogen means the organisms which cause disease or disease causing microorganisms, they are called as pathogens. So we will not use very long sentences like disease causing microorganisms or disease causing agent. We will directly say pathogens. When I use the word pathogen, you must understand that I am talking about a microorganism which is disease causing. So that is the meaning of the word pathogen. So pathogen are definitely harmful. That is quite understood. If it causes a disease, definitely it has to be harmful. So pathogens are harmful in nature. There are useful microorganisms also, but pathogens are harmful. Next, we'll go to another term which is called as vectors. The term vectors means they are the agents which carry a disease from one place to another. So they can also be called as carriers. Carriers which carry diseases from one place to another. They are called as vectors. So vectors are basically transporters, carriers which carry diseases or disease causing germs from one place to another place. So that is the specific meaning of the word vectors. Now in this slide you can see some pictures of pathogens that I have given you. On the extreme left you can see this picture signifies bacteria. This is a microscopic view of a bacteria, a disease causing bacteria, and this one on the right hand side it is the virus. The virus, they are also pathogenic in nature, as you know. These days we are dealing with the pandemic of COVID-19. So that is also a virus. We call it coronavirus, as you know, all of you know. This diagram signifies a worm, and it causes a disease called as the ringworm. You are very familiar with this ringworm, and ringworm is common, I think, in the KEA hostels also. Spreads from one person to another. You have seen in your hostels also many students have come across with this disease called as the ringworm, and it is a fungal disease. Basically it is a fungal disease. So this is a microscopic picture of a fungus. And the last one, this diagram, this is a microscopic view of protozoa. Protozoa, they cause disease like malaria. So these are the microscopic views of different types of pathogens. In this slide you will see pictures of vectors. As I have just told you that vectors are the carriers which help in carrying disease or disease causing germs from one place to another. So you can see this is the mosquito. Mosquito, they are definitely the carriers of diseases. Like the malaria, it is a disease caused by the female Anopheles mosquito. There is another disease called as dengue. It is also caused by a mosquito called as the Aedes mosquito. So these are the vectors. They act as vectors and they transport or carry the disease causing agents. Next you have on the right hand side, you can see you have a housefly here. Houseflies are very potent, very dangerous carriers of disease. We often say that we should not eat uncovered food, we should not drink uncovered water, we should not be in contamination with anything that is not covered. Many people say that we should not eat street food and all if it is not properly covered or not properly maintained because of this housefly. The housefly, like take an example, the housefly may sit on the dustbin and next time he goes and sits on a plate of momo. See how dangerous it is. The housefly is sat on a dustbin or on a piece of garbage, and the next moment that housefly goes and sits on a plate of chow mein. So this is a very dangerous, very potent disease causing or disease carrying vector. We call it vector. So these are the most common vectors that we have. One is the mosquito and the second is the housefly. They are the causes of many diseases. The housefly, they cause diseases like dysentery, like diarrhea. They are all caused by houseflies. So in this table, we will now go across a table in which you have on the left hand side you have the infectious agents, that is the pathogens, and on the right hand side you have the diseases caused by these infectious agents. You can see this slide very properly. You can see viruses, they cause common cold, influenza, measles, mumps, chickenpox, AIDS, hepatitis B. I'll just explain a little bit about all the diseases. Common cold, as you know, it is a common disease that we all of us face it often. Influenza is also a type of cold. Measles, spot-like structures appear on the body, a smaller version of chickenpox, you can say. Mumps, swelling of the glands near the ears, this is called as mumps. Chickenpox, you know that. Throughout the body you will have rashes and small swellings, boils all over the body. AIDS, as you know, it is a disease, very deadly disease. It generally leads to death, and here in AIDS it is caused by a virus which is called as HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. Hepatitis B, it is a condition, it is also a viral disease, and it is it causes inflammation of the liver, and sometimes the liver will not function properly in many cases. So those are the things that are caused by viruses. Next we go to bacteria. Bacteria causes the following diseases. Cholera, it is a foodborne disease, foodborne, waterborne, carried by water, carried by food. Typhoid, tuberculosis, tetanus, anthrax, food poisoning, they are some of the diseases caused by bacteria. Next you have fungi, as I just said. Ringworm is a very common disease caused by the fungi. Protozoans, they cause diseases like malaria, they causes diseases like dysentery. There is also a disease called as sleeping sickness. It happens in cattle mostly. So that is a sleeping sickness caused by again another protozoan. Worms also cause many problems in our system. There are different kinds of medicines for worms. They go into our digestive system and cause problems in digestion. So worms are also pathogens, though they are not microscopic, they are a bit larger than the common microorganisms. So these are the diseases and the pathogens which causes the disease. Next we go to a type of disease which is called as congenital disease. Please see the term congenital. The word congenital means which are present, diseases which are present at the time of birth. They are not developed or they do not develop after birth. They are present in your body since birth. There are many diseases human beings have which are present in your body or present in somebody's body since birth. So generally they take place due to any genetic defects. There is a concept called as gene. There are chromosomes, as you know. Chromosomes contain the genes, and there are, due to many genetic defects, the congenital diseases may occur. Due to genetic defects, congenital diseases might occur, maybe due to defects in the gene of both the parents. Some bad genes may come up to the next generation, and these diseases might occur due to any abnormality, due to any problems in the genes. One example I'll give you. These are the two examples. One is called as albinism. The other example is the case of conjoined twins. In albinism, this is congenital disease. So that means this is present at the time of birth. It will not be developed in your body after that. At the time of birth, if it is there, then only it is like valid. It will not develop, like say after 20 years, albinism will not develop in your body. It will be present at the time of birth only. So here what happens, you can see there is loss of pigmentation in the skin. If you see our skin and their skin, you must have come across many such children, many such examples in among your known ones maybe, or nearby ones, or in the school, in the colleges, you must have seen that such children, they have pigmentation loss in their face, in their skin, in their hairs, and that skin pigment is called as melanin. We have it properly. You have it properly in your body, but some may not have it properly in their body, and they suffer from albinism. A child having albinism is called an albino child. So many such problems appear in a child having albinism. They do not live for a very long period of time, very sadly, because they have different types of diseases coming up along with this disease. Since their skin pigmentation is not there, they are exposed to skin cancer also. So that is a huge problem in such cases. Next we have one more case which is called as the conjoined twins. The conjoined twins are those twins who are joined in some way or the other. Maybe somebody's heads are joined, maybe somebody's arms are joined, maybe somebody's legs are joined, somebody's maybe stomach is joined, shoulder is joined. So this is the case, you can see in the picture here, conjoined twins, that this is not a normality, this is an abnormality. So this is a case of like congenital disease, I would say. So these are the two examples. In the exam, please remember, when you are asked about congenital diseases, please write about these two examples. I may not ask you in detail, but mentioning the names is very important. Next we come to another type of disease, which is acquired disease. Acquired disease happens to you, happens to me, happens to every one of us, because it develops after birth. All diseases like say malaria, say measles, say mumps, say common cold, whatever diseases are there, except those diseases, they are all acquired, because they come up in our body at a later stage after birth. They may come, they may go, they may remain in our body, maybe. So those are the acquired diseases. So they develop after birth. And congenital diseases were present since birth. At the time of birth only they are like that. But acquired diseases, they are present after birth. All the common diseases that we have, they are all acquired in nature.